God knows I love Chappell Roan down. But to say I did not see this coming would be me lying to myself. Because the thing about image is that once you curate it, whether you like it or not, or you are bored of it, it still stays. It sticks. Like, girl, it stuck to you probably for your entire career. And if there's one image or one thing that people will always say about Chapel, whether you know her as a fan or you don't, is that she seems a little bit, a little bit abrasive. Let's just use the word abrasive. Some people like to use the word hostile. I would just say she's abrasive. Like she likes her space, she likes, her environment. She likes just doing her own thing, having nobody bother her, that kind of thing. So yeah, I get it, but then there are some extremes, girl. So let's just get into it. So the recent controversy involving Chappell Roan, a security guard, and the 11-year-old daughter of footballer 𝐏𝐨𝐩, God forgive me if I'm not spelling that or pronouncing that properly, this basically just highlights the increasingly thin line between a celebrity's right to privacy and the expectations of public-facing kindness. So here's a breakdown of the situation, the whole public figure, image, the backlash and everything, and why empathy is actually required for both sides. So yeah, let's get into it. So what really happened? It all started with the footballer's Instagram post where he narrated an incident that happened like while staying at an hotel in Sao Paulo for Lollapalooza, Brazil in March of 2026, the 11-year-old fan, Ada, spotted Chappell Roan at breakfast. And according to her father, 𝐏𝐨𝐩, Ada did not approach the singer but simply walked past the table to confirm it was her. She smiled and then she sat back down. And allegedly, a security guard then approached the family's table and aggressively berated them, like accusing the child of harassment and disrespect and threatening to report them to the hotel. And the encounter reportedly left the young girl in tears, like it was bad. So now we got a whole gist. Okay, so why is there so much backlash? Well, the intensity of the backlash against Chappell Roan isn't just because, like, this event. It's like a collision of misinterpretation of all the social media rants about boundaries that she's been going on off recently, and basically the Respect My Boundaries brand she's established for herself, and basically how it affects this specific context. And we have to talk about this boundary setter persona that Chappell Roan has adopted recently. She has been very vocal about her distaste for the creepy fan behavior. Like, she's refusing photos in public. She's calling out entitled fans. She ain't playing into the parasocial or entitled fan behavior whatsoever. Like, she's like, I'm no nonsense. I'm not gonna take this from you people. I'm not an animal. I'm a human too. Respect my space. And I get that. Honestly, I dig it. But while many support her right to privacy, this creates a hair trigger environment. Like, when a child is involved, the public often misinterprets, like, these setting of boundaries as a lack of basic empathy. And I get why. Especially when it contradicts the image of relatability on her album, Midwest Princess. Sorry, I almost remember Lily Allen, West End Princess. So yeah, Chappell's image is built on being the Midwest Princess or a Midwest Princess. Someone that's authentic and like she's one of us. So she's an ally. You get that. She's even in the community. Like when a celebrity with that brand is perceived as cold or protected by aggressive muscle, the sense of betrayal from the fan base is like much higher than it would be for a traditional distant A-list star. Like, they're snubby, they're uptight, we get that. But she's supposed to be like relatable and down to earth and stuff like that. So when she doesn't play into that image, it's like a huge disillusionment. We also need to talk about or look at the power imbalance narrative because she has recently faced criticism for canceling shows and making very polarizing political statements. So this stationed the public to like view her like a diva behavior. It's giving diva behavior. And in this industry, except you're Mariah Carey, you cannot be a diva. Don't be that. Don't like drop that attitude. Drop it. Like the incident itself has become the perfect smoking gun for critics to claim that she has really lost touch with the fans and the people that made her famous. Like why is she treating them this way? But we need to basically apply nuance. Like it's very essential. It's easy to pick a side. The situation is really as black as white or black and white. Sorry, as it was painted, especially in the tweet. There were obviously some direct versus indirect actions. Chappell stated in her response that the guard was not from her personal security and that she didn't even see the girl. And if she didn't order the confrontation, blaming her for the guard's overzealousness would be a reach, like a massive one. However, nobody really wants to believe that. And also, as the principal, celebrities are often held like they're held responsible for the actions, the cultures, behaviors of their team and people they surround themselves with anyways. So like if your parents are acting this certain way, they're going to believe that maybe that's the way you act too, kind of like what happened with Daniela from 𝐏𝐨𝐲 with her dad and her mom, following Trump, and people just assumed that she's also right wing leaning. So yeah, we don't want to assume things like that, but that's basically how it is with association, especially for celebrities. And we can't exactly blame the security either. Their job is to protect, and these security guards are for like high profile celebrities most of the time, and they often deal with stalkers. They deal with aggressive paparazzi like on a daily, and this can lead to a very defensive approach to everything where they overreact to any movement towards the artist, failing to distinguish between a threat and a smiling child, which is actually quite sad. And then when we look at the hotel context, like hotels are meant to be like safe zones for celebrities. In a high stress, touring environment, a guard might be instructed to keep any eyes off the artist doing a meal, regardless of age, as you don't know who could be working with who. So I get why they might want to be hostile, but to a child, chill. But yeah, like I said earlier, I empathize with both sides, but with the child more obviously. It's heartbreaking to imagine a child's excitement turning into a major traumatic core memory. At 11, harassment is a heavy word to have spat in your face for simply smiling at an idol, your artist. And for the parents, seeing a grown man yell at their daughter is an instinctive reason for outrage. So I get why both parents have been vocal about it, like constantly. They weren't standing or chasing her, they were guests in the same building. Like literally, both parents are celebrities themselves. Then again, I get Chappell's side because she has like a very toxic relationship with fame, and honestly, I don't know how celebrities do it. Imagine trying to eat breakfast while constantly feeling watched or hunted by everyone. Even a smile from a stranger can feel like like death threat or something like that. Like when you've dealt with stalkers for so long, it feels weird. And if she truly didn't see the girl or her family that is now being canceled globally for it, and even banned from festivals by city mayors, then I feel for her too. Obviously, it's a terrifying level of professional consequence for a personal misunderstanding. And in conclusion, I don't really want to say too much about this. Do I feel the criticism was valid? Yeah, to a very large extent, yes, it was valid. But do I also feel it was blown way out of proportion? Definitely. Because where was this energy when the government, like, where was this energy from the government when a certain PD file and his files were released? Like, if you know what I'm saying, where was it? Like, and I've said it and I'll keep saying it. We are not angry enough. But let's stay on track. Back to Chappell. The main issue is that when you carve out an image for yourself that makes you seem hostile or mean, especially as an artist, either from your aura, your persona, your mannerisms, what you post, everything, it sticks and it's all people will ever view you as, whether you're right or wrong. Some people don't even know Chappell. This is their first time, interacting with her online. Like they're seeing this content and everything, and they're just taking it out. Like, oh, she's a mean person. Everybody's saying she's a mean person, so she must be a mean person. She must be a B, a nasty one too. So that is just the image that people are just getting about Chappell. Like she's entitled and she's proud. Though I personally do not feel like that is exactly what she's going for, but that is what people are going to misinterpret it as, obviously, because people are people. So some people don't even care about the kid. Let's be honest. Some people just genuinely hate Chappell Roan, like they hate her, and they're just seeing this as a way or an avenue to dogpile on her, like to be able to effortlessly hate without being suspected. Some people hate her because of different reasons: her sexuality, she's lesbian, she's left leaning. People don't really want to even have a discussion about this or apply nuance to it, and it's kind of sad. And these days it's more annoying that people can't tell the difference between hate and criticism, and it's really, really disappointing. I hope both sides are able to heal and learn from this incident, and thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and follow me for more.